You know Ki-adi Mundi, right? The guy with the huge head, leader of the Galactic Marines, always worried about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Well, turns out he's more than just a meme. In fact, he's a complete psychopath, embodying all the flaws of the Jedi, utterly heartless. Let's dive into the reasons why my buddies despise Ki-adi Mundi, and why some argue he totally earned that shot in the back. He's a true OG in the prequel-era Jedi scene, making his debut in the '98 comic Prelude to Rebellion. Although he's a familiar face, there's a lot more to him that often goes unnoticed. When it comes to on-screen stardom, Ki-adi Mundi isn't exactly stealing the spotlight. Where do you spot him in films? Jedi Council scenes, my friend. And guess what? He's constantly throwing a wrench in the works. Recall Qui-Gon report on his tango with Darth Maul. Mundi's the guy denying the Sith's grand return. Fast forward to the Attack of the Clones, and he's the one insisting Dooku, a former Jedi, can't be behind Padme's predicaments. Now, let's talk about the Clone Wars. Mundi convinces the Council to turn a blind eye to Duchess Satine's pleas, accusing poor Ahsoka and nearly shutting Yoda out from the world of Force ghosts. And don't even get me started on Revenge of the Sith. His bright idea to focus on Kashyyyk? Well, that's the reason Yoda's skipping town, and the Jedi Order pretty much doomed. Classic Mundi, right? Now, why was Ki-adi Mundi so consistently wrong and, let's say, not the best person? It all ties back to the same flaw. He embodied the failures of the Jedi Council. It's a real Jedi tragedy if you ask me. So, Farouk Lamar and our guy Ki-adi Mundi both fell for that detached, dogmatic light side stuff, and the Jedi Order sometimes got lost in it. It showed in their actions and how they saw the world. And let me tell you, it's the reason why we think Mundi is just terrible, all because of how he got detached. Being emotionally detached is a part and parcel of being a Jedi, you know? Gotta put those feelings aside to focus on the will of the Force. But here's the thing, it's not about being a robot. Anakin Skywalker nailed it in the Attack of the Clones. Jedi are cool with love and compassion. They get that emotions matter. What the Jedi warn against are the heavy hitters: passion, anger, jealousy. They want you to treat emotions as secondary to the will of the Force. Now, Mundi, poor guy, missed the memo. He went full-on psychopath mode. Either he shut down his emotions completely, or pretended that he didn't feel anything. Both not great options. Sure, we don't have cases of him being outright cruel, but his actions were odd, to say the least. When his family bit the dust during the Clone Wars, he shrugged it off. Anakin mourning his master? Mundi's advice? Just move on. Friends dying in battle? Oh, that's just the will of the Force, according to him. If those aren't the thoughts of someone who's completely lost it, then I don't know what is. Now, let's peek into Mundi's origin story. Born on Saria, this backwater planet in the western reaches, the Sarians hated tech and barely bothered with the Republic or the galaxy at large. Mundi was a rarity from day one. The gender ratio was 1 male to 20 females. Whoa, talk about being special, huh? But this messed up ratio also put him in danger as Sarian raiders roamed the place, threatening to snatch up boys. So, the Mundis, fearing for their son's safety, handed Ki-adi over to the Jedi when a passing knight swung by. Their hope? He'd return as a Jedi Knight to wipe out those raiders, and guess what? He did come back, rose through the Jedi ranks, and even joined the Council, filling in for the famous 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐫𝐬. But here's where it gets weird. Despite the Jedi's no-marriage rule, they cut Mundi some slack due to his species' unbalanced birth rate. So, he ended up with 5 wives and 7 daughters, and yes, you guessed it right. He didn't give a rat's ass about any of them. Now, the Mundis were thrilled to have a baby boy in Ki-adi, but life wasn't a walk in the park. Sarian raiders were causing havoc, targeting young lads. For 4 years, the Mundis feared losing their son to these raiders. Not an easy life if you ask me, constantly fearing for your child's life while also having to stay sane and sharp to protect him. Sounds like an absolute nightmare. Even though Ki-adi was a tad older than the usual Jedi newbies at 4, he got the green light to start training as a youngling. Grand Master Yoda took him under his wing as a Padawan. And get this, he was the last Jedi to receive that honor. Kid rose through the ranks like a rocket, becoming a Jedi Knight and then a Master. Just as his family wished, he did return to clean up Saria and even scored a seat on the Jedi Council just before the Battle of Naboo. Filling in for the legendary Jedi Sentinel 𝐒𝐭𝐫𝐬, Ki-adi Mundi became a Jedi Watchman, permanently assigned to protect the Samagi sector, which included his home turf of Saria. As I already mentioned, he had a huge family consisting of 5 wives and 7 daughters, as opposed to Anakin's 1 single wife. Sure, Ki-adi can be called a Chad, but at least Anakin cared deeply about his wife while he just wanted to break the world record, it seems. According to the Jedi Code, emotional attachments to family were a no-no for Mundi, but it didn't stop there. He took it up a notch, seemingly not caring about his family at all. Jedi issues, am I right? Now picture this. During the Clone Wars, 𝐒𝐿 gets hammered by the Commerce Guild, messing up its natural beauty and scaring the daylights out of its people with creepy spider droids. The guild even goes hardcore, greenlighting the Gotham Commandos to off the planet's political bigwigs, plunging the local scene into chaos and a bloodbath. Many 𝐒𝐿ians bit the dust in the Battle of 𝐒𝐿, and guess who was in that grim list? Yeah, Ki-adi Mundi's entire family. Now, regular folks would be in pieces losing one family member, let alone 12. But Ki-adi Mundi? Nah, he couldn't care less. And get this, we only know about this family tragedy because he spilled the beans to Anakin Skywalker after the Battle of Jabiim. Why? Brace yourself. Mundi's point was that Anakin shouldn't be all mopey about losing his Padawan pals because, hey, he just lost his entire family, and he was chill as a cucumber. According to Mundi, feeling sad about folks getting killed was just not cool because, apparently, it was all a part of the will of the Force. Fast forward to the Battle of Jabiim, where dozens of Anakin's Padawan buddies bit the dust, and he's feeling the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. Add icing on the cake, he thinks Obi-Wan Kenobi, his mentor and closest thing to a dad, got axed too. Anakin's hurting. And who does he turn to? Temporary Master Ki-adi Mundi, who drops the wisdom bomb to just stop caring because mourning was just against the will of the Force. What a pathetic move that was on his part. Some people argue that the advice that Ki-adi Mundi gave Anakin can be a big reason that pushed him towards the dark side. To be honest with you, once you fully think about the impact of those words and what they can have on someone that's already hurting and isn't thinking straight, that theory might definitely start making sense to you as well. But the main question that arises is that if that's the case, and if he actually contributed to Anakin's change of character, then can he be held accountable for all that Anakin did? It may be a bit too far-fetched, but I feel like it would have had a significant impact on killing any bit of empathy Anakin had in him. So yes, probably he could be held accountable. So Ki-adi Mundi was a much bigger psychopath than people thought he was once you look at the bigger picture. No wonder he was hated by the fans. Looking back, he may have been a better fit for the Galactic Marines than we gave him credit for. But what do you think about all of this? Do you also think that Ki-adi Mundi may have been much worse than people make him out to be? Let us know down in the comments below, and also let us know if you'd like to hear similar stories and theories about the Star Wars universe. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what you're watching. May the Force be with you.